Hey everyone, Rick from Rick's RC and More. I got the SCX6 here. So I put one of the Amazon, I think 60 kilogram servos in here. It was an improvement over stock, but I don't know, it's still not quite enough in some situations. And I did notice the servo, it does seem to be making it's a little noisy, like maybe some of the gears are starting to get a little rough in it. So the other options for this same size servo, as far as dimensions, you can go up to an 80 kilogram. And I thought, well, they sell a 150 kilogram one. That's still the same size dimensions, so why not go overkill? And we'll go with this guy. Now, I'm running direct power to this servo, so I'm going to do the same for this guy. Only this one here will go up to the 12.6 volts, so I can do 3-cell on it. It comes with some plastic servo horns. It also comes with this aluminum one. Now, I did have to modify the aluminum one on there now, as far as the size of bolt that goes in here. So that's already been done. So this will be a spare because it's the same servo horn that's came with the 60. So I'll keep that as a backup. So I'm gonna put power to this guy and probably do some steering. Do a quick little video of like the speed and kind of the power or whatever. And then when we put this one in, I'll do the same so I can kind of do a comparison. So let's get started here. All right, so there's different ways to do this. You can run, I can see where you can buy harnesses that will run a direct powered servo off of your balance lead, off of your lipos. I prefer not to do that. Now, all my 3-cells have the XT60s. I do have this. I don't know where I come from, just in my parts bin. So I think what I'm going to do is, currently I have a Dean's or a T-plug, because that's what all my all my 2-cell batteries were. So I think I'm going to wire this guy up, and so I could wire up to plug into the balance plug, which would allow me to go back to one battery at a time, but I wouldn't be, it would be direct power to the servo, but I prefer to have something like this as opposed to using that whatever would plug into your balance lead, just because of the size of the wiring. I like something a little bit more a little larger size wire, if that makes any sense. Especially putting 12 volts through to that. Just going to disconnect this harness. And I'd also like to change up this setup here. I was using this guy to then plug into the battery from the power here. And this was just kind of a little temporary deal. We're going to do something a little bit better. Now, what I should do is this new servo, I should probably plug that in and just make sure it does work before hacking into some wiring on it. So I'll probably bench test this and then go from there. So I got this servo hooked up here. You want to center it, obviously. Oh, that's got some jam to it. I got a 3-cell hooked to that now. Steering trim, yes, you definitely want to center that up. Not sure how fast that's going to be, but so I found an adapter, so I'm going to use the harness I already had made. I found an adapter to go from the T-plug to the XT60 for now. Call me lazy, it just saves me soldering up another harness for now. So we'll now get that servo mounted now that we know it's centered. And I'm just going to take the servo arm off of here because, yeah, I did have to drill and tap that out to the larger size screw to work. It just saves me doing that to this guy right now. Like I said, I'll do that with it, but keep it as a backup. So we'll continue on here. I've got the new servo in place here, just tightening it down in the chassis. I usually get all four kind of started just to make sure everything lines up. So yeah, the 60 kilogram, the 80 kilogram, and the 150 kilogram are all the same dimensions as far as setting these up. So you can fit all of these servos into the SCX6 without a problem. Servo is mounted in. Now I'm going to have to I'll put some more Loctite, obviously, on the bolt that goes up from your steering link to that servo arm. I'm going to do this off camera because it's a lot of fiasco. I got to close this guy up, put him on side and that. So it's worth mentioning here as well. If you don't have a drill and a tap to drill out and tap the threads on this servo horn for a larger metric Allen head there. I'm trying to get this to focus. You can just drill it out bigger and then put a longer Allen head in there, or hex head, whatever you want to call it. And there's enough room up top. You could probably put a nut on there. You might have some clearance. I'm not sure. Yeah, it shouldn't come through the frame rail there. Maybe it will. Maybe you will have a clearance issue there. Anyway, that was something you're gonna have to deal with. If you get one of these servos, just because these are a smaller thread, smaller diameter hex hardware, the other option would be to put a spacer in there or a shim or whatever to go to your smaller size. I have a tap and die set, so that's the way I did it. So let's hook back up. Servo is mounted. Just make sure I got everything. And when you're running direct power, if you're even, don't have this plugged in all the time, obviously. If you shut the vehicle off and it's going to be extended period of time, you might want to unplug that because you've always got power going to that servo. So let's power everything up here again. Now our servo is mounted, everything's tightened down. You can never get your wheels perfectly straight, even centering that servo. You just gotta, that's kind of straight. Well, that's not, I'll have to set my endpoints. It doesn't seem a whole lot more powerful, to be honest, than the 60 kilogram. It's definitely slower. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on it there. And it's still turning it, so it's not quite always centering though. All we can do at this point is try them out on the trails and see if I notice an improvement there. The weather here is getting kind of crappy, so I don't know when I'm going to get headed back out onto the trail system. Now the reason I direct power these servos too, not only the size, but if you see my earlier video on how to get rid of the brownouts on these, because you'll hear your ESC really labor down in some situations. Actually, you know what? This I need to actually check. This lipo may have, I think on my last run, actually lipoed out. I've got some other 3 cells here. That's the only downfall to directly powering your servo too, is you're not gonna, your lipos aren't going to be shut down. 11.3. Okay, so that one there's got some more juice. Let's try hooking up a lipo that I know has top voltage here. That might seem a little bit faster. Maybe it's got a little more. All right, well, I'm going to put everything back together here, and when we get a day with some decent weather, get it back out in the trails and see if there is a whole lot of difference between that 150 and the 60 kilogram. There's an 80 kilogram as well. They're not overly priced or anything, so I can pop these back into the connector on this one in case I decide I want to use it for something else. That's obviously too big of a servo for a 1/10. You'd have to do some modifying. to get that to work. But I don't know, who knows, down the road I always wanted a 5th scale gas powered RC with a 2-stroke gas powered motor, so down the road that can definitely be used for something like that. I'd have to go back on my Amazon and see what I paid for that guy. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think it was definitely under $100. Maybe the $60 to $80 mark. But there you have it. Like I said, I'll have to try it out in the trails and get back to everybody on whether or not it does make a big difference having that 150 kilogram. I found with the 60 kilogram, I found that if you're getting into some tight spaces where the vehicles, where stuff's kind of pinching off on you or whatever, it would actually, the wheels would actually get turned. The servo just didn't have enough power to keep the wheels centered in some situations, and so we're going to try the 150. We'll try it on the 3-cell because it did say it was good for up to, I think, 12.6 volts, whereas this guy here was good up to 8.4 volts. That's why I was running 2-cell on it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. You know, I like to try some of the cheaper options for this type of, because, you know, these guys are expensive. The Spectrum servo that came with it, it didn't last very long. I'm just exploring cheaper options other than, I mean, you could go get like a high-end servo, but from when I looked, like I think a Beast 2000, which I've seen guys running these, which work phenomenal. They're also direct power servos, but to get one here, I think it's like a $500 or $600 servo. So I'm just exploring some cheaper options. You know, down the road, after some years, I may very well go that route just to buy it. I know that the reviews on them are really good. I just thought I'll explore these cheaper options first. Everybody, get out and enjoy your RCs.